Hello and good afternoon to you all. I'm just going to wait a few minutes to see if there's any other people that want to join us for this library presentation. Can I just check that you can hear me okay? Hello, Linda, did you raise your hand? Oh, lovely, that's great. I logged onto the Zoom and it said a problem with my microphone. Hello, it's lovely to meet you all. We're going to start to look at the Britannica library resource in a couple of minutes. Great, thank you. If anyone has a question, please pop that into the chat box for me. Hi, Katie, you haven't got any sound. Can I suggest that you go to the bottom of your screen and find the settings button? The other answer to that, Katie, oh, let me just message Katie here. Hi, Katie, if you exit the meeting again, that often Great, so I'm going to share my screen, and just before I do that, I'm going to pop my email address into the chat box here. My name is Kay Phillips, and I am part of the Britannica customer care team. So there's a team of us here who can support you and help you with any information on your Britannica library resource. We're very happy to connect with you and your staff, so just pop me an email if you'd like any further help after our session today. So I'm just going to share my screen and sound for you, and then I'm going to bring up the Britannica library resource landing page. So I always like to start with a little bit of history, and on the left-hand side, on the Britannica Library landing page, we have our 250-year emblem and our Scottish thistle. This represents our history of 250 years ago, when we started by creating the Britannica Encyclopedia books. That was started in Scotland by 3 gentlemen who decided to produce the books with accurate and correct information on every subject. Now, obviously, times have changed. We now have this amazing digital platform for libraries, but we're still doing that same editorial process. So everything behind my levels here, my junior, which is 5 to 11, my student, which is 11 to 16, and my adult section, which is 16 plus, all of those millions of pieces of information of all different types have all been checked and curated by our global team of experts. So that's something that we're very proud of. So Britannica contains information at all levels for every age group. And for customers that use your library, they can also use Britannica at home. If there's any questions about the home access, please pop me an email and I can go into more detail for you. But Britannica is web-based and portable, so can be used on any device in any location. As I said, we do offer staff training sessions that we can connect with any of your staff to just give them a bit more information on the features in the Britannica platform. So I'm going to start with the student section here, which is 11 to 16, to give you an idea of the functions and the features. And I'm simply going to start with a search by clicking onto my magnifying glass here. Now I'm going to choose solar systems for this demonstration, but in this box here, because we're an encyclopedia, you can actually put any subject or topic in the world. And then all I need to do is click on my magnifying glass, take the shortcut link here, or simply press enter on my keypad. So we now go through to what we call the search results page. And because each of the levels are aimed at the particular age group, they're all slightly different in presentation. And you'll see at the top here, I've got 2,946 results at reading level 2, and that's reflecting my article choice here. So these articles have been created by our global team of educators who only use the very best source for that material. It's always a good point at this stage to show you on the right hand side our advanced search option here, because from my nearly 3,000 results, I may want to filter down by using these filters to a particular subtopic. So that's a very useful advanced search option there. Now, along this left-hand side, on all of the 3 levels, we have a choice of different types of material to access. So this is very important for your customers, whatever age group they are, to be able to access correct information, but all different types of information. And the great advantage with Britannica Library is everything is in one place here. So I would have a choice of articles, images, educational videos, and under this More button here, I can select EBSCO journals and magazines, world's best sites, and also primary sources and ebooks. So I've got a great choice of different types of information. But I first want to show you the tools of differentiation in all of the articles. And obviously I've got 3,000 articles to choose from that are relevant to my topic. But I'm just going to pop into this first one here in order to keep our time succinct. So we're looking at a reading level 2 piece of information. At this level, you have these amazing graphics. All of the tools that I'm going to show you are on the foundation. So they're on the junior section, and they're also on the adult section. The first of our tools will be the interchangeable reading levels. So Britannica Library is very much a person-led research tool. It's a place where people of all ages and children can find their own path of discovery and research in a safe platform. It's all about choices of what's going to match that person's ability. So you can see here, if I'm struggling with the reading level at level 2, I'm able to alter the reading level down to reading level 1. And the reading levels are based on the Lexile score of reading. And you can see I've gone down to an easier version. It's the same information, but it's just written at that lower Lexile score of reading. I can also challenge myself, so I might be in that middle age group of the student, 11 to 16, but I might be wanting to challenge myself. So again, I can choose reading level 3, the same information, just written at that higher academic level. So it's all about individual abilities and choice. Inside of the text, in all of the articles, you'll notice that we have these hyperlink words. Now, these are there to prompt the user to relate to extended and connected subtopics in their original subject. So it's a really perfect way of building up those research and inquiry skills. We also have a double-click dictionary. So for any word that I could be struggling over, and I'm going to choose microscopic here, all I have to do is hover in the middle of the word that I'm finding challenging, and then very lightly right double-click with my mouse. I'm then able to see the Merriam-Webster definition of that particular word. You'll see that I've got 3 definitions here of the word microscopic. So I can then start to understand able to be seen only through a microscope, very small. I can also go to the full definition by clicking on this hyperlink word sentence here. On the right-hand side of our dictionary box, we have a microphone. So by clicking on the microphone, I would be able to have the word read out to me phonetically.
Microscopic.
That's going to help me to know how that word is pronounced. Now, it's all about academic honesty. So that is why we use Merriam-Webster for our dictionary definitions, because Merriam-Webster is a very famous global dictionary house. Heading up to the top here, we have on the left-hand side a very useful table of contents. And if I click onto that, you'll see it's very easy for me to actually hone into a particular part of my initial subject. So if I wanted to go straight to how the parts of the solar system come together, I can use this link here. Or I might want to start my project about the formation and the future of the solar systems. So that table of contents is very useful, as well as the additional reading. So if I really want to dive into my subject and find out more, I can use this additional reading guide as a backup for my research. Now, at the very top of all of the articles, you have your toolbar. And again, it's all about meeting everybody's own unique ability. So just to explain the toolbar, we have our send to button. Britannica is incredibly easy to share online. We can use email, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, and we can also take that URL link at the top and copy and paste that into any platform, because every piece of content has its own unique URL link. If you are a customer and you haven't got your Google Classroom or Teams tab on, please pop me an email, because it's something that has to be done manually here on your permissions, and I can do that for you in a couple of seconds. Just next to our send to button here, we have our favourite star. So I have the option to bookmark and favourite any of this content, and that is going to place that content up here on the right hand side in my optional bookmark area. Now, I don't need to create an area here in order to view all of the millions of pieces of information, but it's very useful if I want to favourite, pop into folders, put my notes on, and share information online. So I would recommend, if you haven't got a bookmark area, that you sign up for one. I also have a really good tutorial just on that bookmark area, which I'm going to send over with the follow-up, the recording, that you'll be able to follow, but also you'll be able to share that with your customers as well. So in order to sign up, under that sign-in box here, we just click on the hyperlink here, create an account. And the important thing to remember is you're going to choose your own username and your own choice of password. And the reason for this is because this area is for your eyes only, unless you choose to share with anyone else. After you've retyped the password, you're then ready to create your account. And I'm just going to sign into my account with the username and password that I chose for myself. And then I can sign in. And then you can see on the right hand side, I've now got a drop down box of everything I've starred and everything I've popped into folders to share. So we're going to look at that a little bit later on. Now, because the star on this toolbar is filled in, that's an indicator to me that this piece of information has already been popped up here into my favourites. So it's going to be relatively easy for me to be able to keep track on what I have favourited. Just next to our favourite star, we have a print icon. So it's very easy to print any of the information out in Britannica that might be helpful for a customer that comes into the library. And then next to our print icon, we have our citation tool. So we have 4 different styles of citation. So once we've chosen the correct style, we then have the citation all ready to copy and paste for our bibliography. So this is very helpful for anyone that's doing any university work or any further education projects, and they need to compile a bibliography. Just next to our citation tool, we have our translate tool. So again, it's all about different abilities. If English is my second language, I can choose one of the 90 different languages here. And I'm going to choose Polish. And then I simply click on done. Now, the great thing about this translation is you'll see that over the top, I'm able to see the English equivalent. So while I'm understanding in maybe my family language, I can also build up my English skills and my vocabulary by seeing the English text equivalent over the top. To go back to the English, it's super easy. I head to the top left-hand side here, and there's a little box that says Show Original. All I need to do is click on that box, and you can see I'm straight back to the English version. So we have 2 final tools on that toolbar, and the next one would be our text-to-speech. Really important if any of your customers are audio learners, and the way that their brain processes information is by hearing. Just going to pop that on for you so you can see how it is presented.
Introduction. As the sun rushes through space at a speed of roughly 150 miles, 240 kilometers per second, it takes many smaller objects along with it.
You'll notice that the colour that we use for that text-to-speech is that sort of really strong neon yellow. And that's because that colour has been proven to help anybody with any dyslexia or any learning difficulties. And our final tool will be our font customization. Again, this has also been proven to help people with any learning difficulties by being able to maximize that print. So that's our tools of learning. And the next part that I'd like to show you is on the top here. On the right-hand side, we have a research tool and material page. And if I click on that, this could be really invaluable for you when you have customers come into the library and perhaps they're starting to do research for the very first time and they really are not sure how to approach this. What we've done is our team of experts have created some research guides, and like everything in life, they've broken that process down into smaller steps. So you can see we start with a pre-research planner, going through all of the stages, and then we end up with our wrap-up. If I bring one of these up, I'm going to click on step 3, gather information. You'll see that they're almost like worksheets, so they can be very helpful for anyone that's coming into the library that needs that extra bit of guidance. So you can see here it says, how can you use primary sources in your project? Brainstorm a few ideas. The primary sources you can find in Britannica, and these guides can be printed out on the right-hand side via the print button. I can also download these guides by using this download button here on the right-hand side next to that print icon. So they're a very useful component in the Britannica library platform for all ages, and they're found at the top here on this research tool and material link. Just below the guides, we have some how-tos. So if you have any customers that are looking to do a research paper, science report, oral presentation or book review, you can simply bring up one of these guides for them. And again, on the right-hand side, I'd be able to print these or download these guides. So for your library staff, they're going to be an important help to supply to your customers. Now, I'm just going to head back to the Britannica landing page, and I can do that at any stage by clicking on our logo here. So our famous thistle and our history, or the Britannica Library logo here. That's going to orientate me back to that landing page. So it's impossible for me to actually get lost. Just want to pop into our foundation area. There's a lot of lovely features for the junior 5 to 11 age group. And if I click on my search bar and put perhaps they might be looking at the topic of pollution and press enter. You can see that the background is slightly different. It's colourful and engaging in order to keep those young learners interested in the information. And if I pop into one of the articles, you can see the difference. We do the chunking style, so you've got little bite-sized pieces of information on this platform. You've still got your hyperlink words, your double-click dictionary.
Substance.
You often have some lovely little videos on the left-hand side here. And over here is my text-to-speech. Here's my toolbar where I can pop this into my favourites. So I've just clicked on that star and I now know that's in my favourites. Then I've got my print icon. I can email. There's my citation. There's my font customization, my translate tool, and I can also share by Google Classroom and Teams. So I've still got all of those tools, but the presentation is in a way that's going to engage those young learners. Back to our landing page now by clicking on the logo on the left-hand side, and let's pop a search into our adult section. Let's go for solar systems again and press enter. And you'll see the background has changed again. Now that we're at the adult over 16 level, you'll see at level 3, we actually have 11,652 that reflects our article information. So again, on the right-hand side, it's a good time to show that advanced search with our 5 filters here. So anything I pop into is going to have all those tools. That's going to make such a difference to my ability to understand the information. Back to our search results page, because I just want to show you the different types of information. So we've looked at articles and we've looked at the differentiation. Here's our images. So Britannica contains really beautiful rights cleared images that you can use in your library, and then your customers can use for any purpose as well. So this one is about the orbits around the solar system. And at the bottom, here's my sharing options box. Now, if I click onto that, this is how I can use that image, because on the right-hand side, I've got my toolbar back. And you can see I can copy this link, email, use Google Classroom or Teams if it's appropriate. My star's already filled in, so that means this image is already up here in my favorites area. And I can also print this image out. I might want to print this out and put this up in the library. And there's the all-important citation tool. Heading back to the search results page, and I like to use a little arrow on the very top left-hand side there, because next to that image tab is where I can find really excellent videos for every subject. And as I go down and make my selection, this one here is about a solar flare and shockwave in the sun's atmosphere. Could be very useful for me to use to learn about the subject, or I might want to use this as part of a presentation or project. Again, at the bottom, I'm going to find my sharing options box. And if I click onto that, I've then got my toolbar on the right-hand side. So I can share. I've already put this video up here into my favorites. And also I've got the citation if I need to do my bibliography. Heading back to that search results page by using that little arrow on the left-hand side there. Under this very small More button contains probably one of the most important parts of your Britannica Library subscription, and that's your EBSCO magazines and journals. Now, on the right-hand side, you can see the EBSCO logo, and this represents our special partnership with EBSCO. And what that means is we stream live through the EBSCO website magazines and journals for every topic in all levels of reading. So at level 3, I've got some really lovely high academic journals that I can access from home, that I can print off to use for my projects. But I'd also just like to point out that for the lower levels, so I'm going to go down to level 2 or even level 1, these EBSCO journals actually present as educational comics. They're really lovely pieces of information. So please direct all your customers to these amazing journals. So here I am at level 1. And I'm going to go into the PDF version of this one here, which is Express to Saturn, and click on the colourful PDF picture version and just show you how amazingly engaging that would be for a young person who's doing a project about Saturn or the stars. So there's many of these journals at the lower levels that present in this wonderfully engaging way. So I would encourage you to really check them out. On the right-hand side, I can download this journal and I can also print this journal. The other thing to say is if I go into the textual version of the journal, so I can do that at any levels here, but if I pop into the textual version, I've got a slight advantage because on the right-hand side, I've got my toolbar, so I can share by these methods. I've already favorited this one into my bookmark area, but I can print and I can translate from here. So even at reading level 3, I can pick up a really high academic journal, but if I go into the textual version, I would be able to use that translate tool. So it's about 80,000 EBSCO journals, full content that's streamed into the platform. So please direct your customers to them and also utilise them yourself because they are a wonderful addition to the Britannica Library platform. Heading to our More tab here, we just have 2 other categories of different information, and that would be your world's best sites. So for every subject and at every level of reading here, I can access an appropriate website that's been cleared and checked by our global editorial team. So if I pop into this website here, this is actually a NASA website, and you can see how interesting and engaging that is. Lots of hyperlink words here for my studies or just for me to read and understand about that project. So the world's best sites is always a really good place to check out for every subject. Finally, we have our primary sources and ebooks. Now, the way I like to describe this category is to head up to my search bar here and pop a very topical subject in at the moment, and that's human rights, and then press enter on my keypad. And obviously now I've got a choice of article information on the left-hand side, images, videos, and under my More button, EBSCO journals and magazines, world's best sites, but I'm looking for a primary source or ebook, so I selected this category here. Anything that starts with the word document is a primary source original document. So anything from history, declarations and speeches, they can all be found in the Britannica primary source area. So if my subject is human rights, you can see how helpful that's going to be for me to access this primary source document written in 1948. And on the right-hand side, I can send this. I've already bookmarked this primary source, so I know that's up here in my favourites. Just underneath that primary source, I'm just clicking on that arrow on the left-hand side there. There's our primary source. We have a non-fiction ebook written by John F. Hume about the struggles and the personal memories of the struggle for human rights. So that too would be very helpful if I'm looking at that subject to be able to access this non-fiction ebook. But just to elaborate a little bit more on the ebooks, you actually have thousands of fiction and non-fiction ebooks in the Britannica Library platform. I've just chosen Shakespeare, and I click on the magnifying glass here. And then I get to my search results page where I can choose from articles, images, videos, and under this More button, I can select my ebooks because I'm looking for William Shakespeare's plays. I can now access everything William Shakespeare has ever written as a complete ebook. And if I pick one of those up, The Comedy of Errors by William Shakespeare, you'll see as I go down, the very famous Act 1, Scene 1. And on the right-hand side, that's how I can share this ebook. And I've also, this has gone into my favourites up here. So I can't really underestimate the amount of really excellent ebooks that are available in the Britannica platform. It is a case of discovery, as with everything in Britannica. So I've just popped chemistry in, and then I can make my choice on the left-hand side here. Click on my More button and go to ebooks. And you can see I've got some chemistry books there that may be really helpful for my studies and my learning. So please make sure that you do check out the EBSCO journals, but also the ebooks are very important as well. So I'm just going to head back to the landing page. We're coming to the final few minutes of our session today. But again, we're very happy to connect with you on a one-to-one basis or to connect with any of your staff. That's all free customer support from Britannica. So just to end, I'd like to just pop into these 3 platforms that contain some very interactive content. So on our 5 to 11 platform here, if I click onto the word junior, I've got a really lovely interactive area. This part we call the interactive wall, and you'll see when I click on that next button, I'm able to see some really lovely quizzes. So I can be enjoying myself, I can be engaged, but I can be learning at the same time. We have an explore article section, explore images and videos, and the biography section is really amazing on all 3 platforms. That is actually one of my favourite areas. On the junior site, we have the Animal Kingdom. So it's a lovely place for the 5 to 11-year-olds to explore animals by group, but also by habitat by clicking on here. And then we have our World Atlas, where I can take myself down to a country in the world and actually walk around. Here's my geography game, and here's my compare countries. So I can at all levels take 2 countries around the world. So I might choose Chile, and then I might choose Bermuda. And I can see a cross-curriculum comparison between those 2 countries. But I can also go through to further information on our hyperlink words. Back to the landing page, because I just want to spend the last few minutes by popping into the student section, the student home page here. So this is 11 to 16. So here, as we go down, we have our explore articles by category, explore images and videos, and our lovely biography section. Some more curiously inspiring content here. And then there's our compare countries and our world atlas. Here's where we show you that we update Britannica on an average of globally every 20 minutes. So if something has new, that's a totally new article. This would have been updated, this article on Crater Lake. This one is a new one on the James Webb Space Telescope. So you can see you're getting the latest information, but also the correct information. Heading back to the landing page by clicking onto the Britannica Library logo. Finally, to pop into that adult section, 16+. Some more curiously inspiring information. I can explore my subjects, my CAT articles, images and videos. Just to pop into that biography section, because that is one of my favourites. The reason I love this area is because I've got over 30,000 global famous people. But on the left-hand side, I've got these filters. So if you do have anyone that's looking to do a project or explore a famous person, you can use these filters here. And you can see I can select a national or cultural association. So I could be looking for a Polish photographer, or I can use one of these activities here. And you can see I've got all of these categories to choose from. Or I can simply start typing an activity that I'm interested in, which is Nobel Prize. Then on the right-hand side, I'm going to have the connected information. So now I've got 917 people in alphabetical order who have won the Nobel Prize. So that biography section is actually a really lovely place to direct people to. And obviously anything that I pick up. So there's a gentleman here who won the Nobel Prize for physics, John Bardeen. Anything that I pick up is going to have that toolbar and the double click dictionary and the adjustable reading levels. So that's the conclusion of our look at Britannica Library today. And I really hope that it's been helpful and maybe you've discovered a few parts that you weren't aware of. Just want to ask if anybody's got any questions, if there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. You can either pop the question into the chat box or you can email me yourself. You've got my email on that chat box there, and I'll be very happy to help you. And we're also here to support your staff as well. So any interested staff that would like to find out a little bit more about your Britannica Library subscription can email me and can book in the next couple of weeks at a suitable time for them, a similar information session. So thank you everybody for attending today. I will be sending along the recording. Oh, thank you. That's lovely to have that feedback, Sheila and Fabia. Thank you. I'm really glad. Thank you, Kate, that you found it helpful. But we are here for further help. We want to support you. Great. So we've had a question, what is the youngest intended audience? And it's really from the age of 5. Because from the age of 5, they would be able to use the homepage here on the junior section, where you've got your quizzes and your explore and your biography. It's all geared at that younger age group. That would be a good area to direct your young learners to. Once again, thank you very much for joining. Oh, lovely. I hope it has inspired you all to dive in yourself and find all those things that perhaps you didn't discover before. And don't forget, I'm going to send you, yes, Brian, let me put my email in here. I'm going to send you the recording of today's session. And then I'm going to send you a tutorial on that resource pack and bookmark area up here. So I've got a really good tutorial on how to make one of these areas and also how to make the resource packs. So that's going to come along to you as well. If I can be of any other help, thank you, Nicola. If I can be of any other help, just pop me an email and we're here to support you and your staff and your customers. So have a lovely evening, everybody. I do hope the sun is shining where you are, and I look forward to hearing from you again soon. Nicola, I've popped my email address in there again. It's kphillips with 2 L's, britannica.co.uk. I'm also on LinkedIn. That's my full name, so feel free to add me on LinkedIn. So we've had a question from Linda. Library users sign in using their library card number. Yep, so if they email a link via the friend who's not a library member, can the friend view the article? I would say to that, no, the friend would not be able to view the article. So the friend who sends the article, the person who's not the member of your library won't be able to view that unless they sign up with your library. And Nicola, to your question, how do you log out if you're using a library card? Because it's web-based and portable, when you shut down the screen, you're automatically logged out. So you don't have to worry about logging out at all. It's literally web-based and portable. Oh, you're very welcome, Linda. They'll have to join your library if they want to benefit from Britannica Library. Have a lovely evening, everybody. And I do hope that I hear from any of you how you're getting on and also provide further support for you. Thank you very much for meeting me this afternoon. You're very welcome, Nicola. Take care, everybody, and I hope to speak to you soon. You're very welcome. Thank you.